zone. Restrictions apply. What's up, fools? Main event Jey Uso here from the WWE. When it's just me between matches, it's day one-ish. And that means it's Chumba time. With hundreds of casino-style games and new titles arriving weekly, there's always something fresh to try at Chumba Casino. The daily boosts make it even more fun. And have me about to get them all during my downtime. Ready for a fun way to chill out and enjoy a few minutes for yourself? Let's chump.
Sponsored by PGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in the state where it's legal to play.
From the Accident Recovery Team Traffic Center, don't worry about me. I called ART.
Traffic. No major incidents, but watch for roadwork on I-135 in both directions near K96. From the Accident Recovery Team Traffic Center, that's your Odyssey, Wichita traffic. Weather.
From 1312 is a warm, muggy, and breezy morning with wake-up temperatures in the 60s, but later today, high of 82 with those partly cloudy skies, windy conditions from the south, but we have to be on guard for those strong to severe thunderstorms developing after 1 o'clock. Storms could produce large hail, damaging winds, and very heavy rain, especially right around the 4 o'clock hour. Storms should continue to push off to the east of the turnpike as we get a little bit beyond 7 o'clock, so most of your late evening plans should be okay, but temperatures will be falling into the low 40s tonight, looking at much cooler temperatures as we head into the weekend, high of 63 for your Saturday, but eventually more the 70s heading into your Sunday. That's your forecast from Storm Team 12. I'm meteorologist Jaylon Thompson.
Come scroll with us. 97.5 and 1240 KFH. Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH Wichita, KNSS HD2 Clearwater, and Odyssey Sports Station.
Hey Wichita, it's Jacob Albright. Stay right there for the latest breaking in sports talk. It's Sports Daily coming up next exclusively on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Jim Rome here with your Rome Report. I had a close friend who was a former Navy SEAL who used to always tell me when adversity hit, quote, not dead, can't quit. That's the Golden State Warriors. Not dead, can't quit. As for the Clippers, who blew another fourth quarter double-digit lead in a playing game, not dead, but should quit because they spit the bit once again last night. Yeah, I know. Hey, Rome, you need some Thousand Island with that word salad? Right. So I'll make it very simple. Steph Curry and Draymond Green once again showed the heart of a champion after they had been written off. And the Clippers once again showed their true colors by coming from ahead to implode when it mattered most. The Dubs may not make a title run, but at least they have a champion's heart and pride, and they'll go down throwing haymakers. While the Clippers, well, they'll look for a nice, comfortable place to lay down and die, same as they ever were. And as for Chris Paul throwing shade at them, hey, Chris, petty is funny, bitter and washed is not. I'm Jim Rome.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives. On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Oh God, I feel wicked, awful, bad, awesome, sucky. I absolutely cannot face this. Wait a minute. It's Friday. I forgot. It's Friday. It's Friday. What do you do?
Today is Friday.
You've waited all week. You've been waiting. Monday, you got through it Tuesday, you got through it Wednesday, you started to smell it Thursday, you were right on top of it, and now it's here! It's Friday! It's time to rock and roll!
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH, this is Sports Daily.
Boy, if that doesn't get you fired up for a Friday, I don't know what will. Max bringing the energy to end the week. We're ready to end it. The Royals fans are ready to end it. or in that series against Detroit and move on to New York. We'll get into the Royals' woes. Jacob Albrock here, TJ Cleveland there. Max Power, man, in that KFH hotline at 869-1240. You can get in touch with the show lots of ways. As always, you can reach us on socials, Facebook, YouTube, X. You can watch us there. You can watch us on 12 News Connected. You can listen to us, of course, here on the air and on the Odyssey app. Glad to have you with us no matter how it is that you take in the show. We've got that. We'll talk a little NFL draft. We'll get the latest from the transfer portal, headlines I missed. It's all coming for you here on Sports Daily, and it's all what's on tap, brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company, now featuring Caddy Snack, Wichita's golf beer. Caddy Snack Blonde Ale, refreshingly crushable, and makes the perfect pairing from the first tee to the 19th hole, no matter the score. Caddy Snack reminds you to beer the ball. Wichita Brewing Company, pizza and beer made here. TJ, good morning. How are you?
Jacob, instead of watching the Royals today, how about we just bang our head against the wall for 2 hours?
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good. Boy, that was
unbelievable. Unbelievable.
What would have been worse? Losing in the 9th inning, 10-9, giving up a 3-run lead behind Lucas Erceg after finally waking up, the comeback that they made, or losing 4-1.
I'll go a step further. You know how they were talking about suspending the game and what would have happened and all the weird rules and everything like that? There was a world where if they couldn't have finished the game, would it have gone back to the last inning? And even though the Royals just took a lead on a 3-run shot, they would have ended up losing the game 6-5 under those rules.
So I don't think that would have been worse, because at that point you at least still know, hey, the offense will.
Yeah, at that point you're optimistic. It's like, man, we got screwed out of a win, but we were going to win that game. And instead the game finished and you lost that game.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
was a bad way to go. That was a bad way to go. You can still, though, if you take it and put it to the side, the fact that they're now 7-12, which is a problem. If you put that to the
second worst in baseball, Jacob.
Yeah. If you put that to the side and say, but if that's the thing that wakes up Salvi and Vinny, then okay, fine. It's a game. It's a game that we lost. Erceg, he had been really good outside of that first appearance or whatever that was in that first couple of games of the season. And it unraveled on him quickly yesterday. He was clean. He has been clean in 6 of 8 appearances he's made this year. And in a lot of them, crystal clean, right? But he's had 2 pretty bad ones. He's had 2 blow-up games. And now it's, that reminds you of the other thing we've kind of been watching. And it's like, okay. Schreiber's unusable at this point. He came in, gave up a home run on his 3rd pitch last night. So there's a lot to dig into, and we will. Jaylon Thompson's going to be here. Jaylon Thompson gave us the Aaron Rodgers line last week, the RELAX line. Curious to see if he feels the same way this week. They're 7-12. It is very early. There will be stretches probably for most teams in baseball where they might go 5 games under 500. Right now for the Royals, the problem when you do this is you can do that once, but you can't do it very much. Again, I remind people last year of just look at what their performance would have been if you eliminate the hot streak, right? We need the baseline to raise up a little bit here. So we'll see. A lot to get to with the Royals today. The draft now we can say is less than a week away. That's good news, right? We're less than a week. We have started to dig in a little bit to the draft and what we might see and how it could be going. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. I don't have any more clarity. Do you? Any more idea?
I would say Veach talked yesterday, and you listen to that, and kind of the same things that we've been saying, but since October, but no big deal. But he said basically, like we've said, is that guys, we have needed literally everywhere, basically. He's like, we're not ruling anything out. He's like, whoever's there, if they're available, we're taking them. It's like, and that's what, and then he didn't even rule out a trade. He kind of teased trades happening. He said the line of, I think that fans are, it's going to be a fun first round for fans, because he thinks that the fact that there is no quarterbacks makes it to where people are going to want to move around all over the board because there's no clear cuts anywhere except number 1.
That's what we talked about yesterday. And because there's no quarterbacks, it always makes me wonder if the price to move around is cheaper. When it's a quarterback, teams are held hostage.
Yeah.
The trading team. What about when it's I don't know, you like this edge rusher a little better? Is it still that same cost? I do think to move up significantly in the first round, it will cost the Chiefs 9 and 29. But I absolutely, as I said yesterday, think that ought to be on the table. I mean, you got 29 in the McDuffie trip, but you also have 40. So you still have another really high pick, higher than they're used to having, with 40 in that second round. If you can use 29 to move up, and in history, if the Chiefs looked back, and we'll dig into this and dig into what Brett Veach had to say yesterday, but if we're sitting here in 5 years and they take Arvell Reese because they traded up to 2 or 3, or David Bailey, and those guys are making the Pro Bowl every year, you think anybody's going to blink at, oh yeah, but we traded pick 29 to get there? No. And so, like, when we evaluate the McDuffie trade, if that were the way they would go, I think you just include it as a part of the McDuffie trade, right? Like you use Trent McDuffie to get Arvell Reese. And again, he's probably not very likely, but you think the Jets are dead set if they get a good offer like that? I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I think that every team in that top 10, like, if you are who's picked like 6 or something, like the Browns, I think are up there, something like that. Yeah. They're in a spot. You think that they're in a spot to turn down 2 first-round picks? I don't think they are. I think the Chiefs are in a spot to turn down. If somebody called the Chiefs and said, "Hey, we want number 9. Here's 13 and 29 and 28," like, Chiefs are saying yes to that.
Yeah, yeah. And listen, the Chiefs could move down too.
And I think that I think that if you read between the lines what Veach is saying, and I think it has some opinion in this from me as well, is that, like, and from other people, is that, the draft isn't that good. Like, it's good, but it's not that good. Like,
he's saying it's top heavy. We'll take you through some of his quotes yesterday, but I was pretty surprised to see him say it.
Yeah. Like if you read between the lines, that's him saying, like, yeah, I think every single pick after 4, especially, but even after 1, like, I think if the Jets were sitting there staring at David Bailey and somebody was like, "Hey, here's a first, here's pick 6 and next year's first," they're like, "Okay, sure." Like, they don't think the drop off from 2 to 6 isn't going to be that insane. It feels like this year. That's what Veach was saying.
I think so too, and I wonder if that makes the price tag cheaper. That's what'll be so interesting. Hey, last chance on some of our giveaways today. We'll get you to. We have a handful of prizes or giveaways that we'll tell you about throughout the show today. I want to say so. Make sure you're listening for those chances. Thanks to Prairie Fire Coffee for keeping us fueled up as well. We'll get you to some of those Brett Veach comments on the other side, and we'll discuss a little bit. We've got them ready for you, and there's a couple of things as TJ teased there that you're like, boy, I'm surprised he's saying that out loud. We'll have it next for you on Sports Daily.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story, clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Let's do this thing. Go!
Sports Daily is on KFH.
Welcome back in, everybody, to Sports Daily. Glad to have you here with us. Longhofer Lawn and Tree Care, celebrating 60 years in Wichita, providing expert lawn care for a healthy lawn, tree and shrub care, and bedweed control since 1966. Longhofer Lawn and Tree Care. We come back in. We'll take you through some of these quotes we were mentioning there from Brett Veach. Will Howard in the news yesterday has K-State fans riled up. The latest from the portal. And Jaylon Thompson will join us on the show. A lot to get to. So you were talking some there, TJ, about Brett Veach. He had kind of an open media session a little bit. Surprised us yesterday. The one that you were talking about, he was asked about, I guess, the oddity of the non-top talent, and he does see a little bit of a gap, but he thinks that it's unique with this draft because running back is not there. And in there he talks, I mean, he listed pretty specifically, TJ, the positions we've talked about: pass rusher, secondary, offensive line, wide receiver. I mean, so it was interesting because he just was pretty straightforward in this conversation that he had. He talked about a big pocket at offensive line. He liked some of them and said there's a drop off. He got into some of the trade stuff that you mentioned, but that's, that gets more philosophical. But it was interesting. He talked about running the ball this year, which we've talked about a million times, leaning into the offensive line, the rebuilding factor. It was a pretty honest conversation, and it re-emphasizes the things I guess we've sort of guessed at where they might be thinking, and he just didn't shy away from that. Edge rusher, offensive line, secondary, wide receiver. So that, I think everyone's kind of right about that. I don't think they're going to surprise us with, I don't know, a tight end or something that other people have talked about. I've never thought something like that made any sense at all. I'll bet you if you put somebody on a lie detector test, I'll bet you they would tell you pass rusher is what they're hoping for.
No.
So I would guess pass rusher is what you're hoping for. You maybe hope Tate falls down there. And I don't know how you power rank the other ones. That's going to just depend on their big board. He also, the other thing that he did mention, like, you can't get this pick wrong. Like, you have to just, he even said, I know it's a cliche, but you have to just take the best player. And I agree with that. I've said that from forever. Like, do not draft. This draft cannot be a position of need.
No.
The Chiefs have done that. It never works, where they've reached on a player because it's a position they need. So just take the best player. And if you need to trade or you need to do whatever, that's fine. But that's where a guy like Caleb Downs, I think, enters the conversation. If you're sitting there and your choices on your board are the guy who's been probably the best college football player over a period of time, or Reuben Bain Jr., who maybe you don't love because his measurables aren't off the chart or whatever, like, at that point, just take Caleb Downs and find a spot for him to play. Like, it'll be fine.
Caleb Downs is not going to be there at 9. But have to trade up to get Caleb Downs, I bet.
I don't know. I've seen lots of mocks with him at 9 because he's safety. It's not a premium position.
It's true.
Safeties can fall.
I don't know. It's interesting. And you're right about, like, and you never want to put that much pressure on a pick, but, like, if you're the Chiefs, who are staring at, not the window, but, the first pane of the window, like, all these guys are about to retire that won all these Super Bowls, like Chris Jones and Travis Kelce, and, they're going to lose, Rashee Rice to the free agency probably, and, a lot of things you can speculate. But my point is, in 3 years, the team is not going to look the same. And so one of the players that you can expect to be on the team in 3 years is whoever you pick at this pick. And so you don't want to be the team in 3 years that, you pull up the Wikipedia of the 2026 draft and you look at, like, who was the 10th pick, man? Like, oh my gosh, they got Jordan Tyson, the 4-time All-Pro, and we got Reuben Bain. Like, you don't want that to happen. And Chiefs fans are so guilty of doing that every single. It's the classic Bubba Starling. Like, the Royals took Bubba Starling. The next pick was Francisco Lindor, I think.
Don't do that in baseball. In football, though, it's fair. It's very fair. There's going to be drafts. You sit there and you look, and you're like, the Chiefs took Felix Anudike-Uzomah. The Chiefs took Clyde Edwards-Helaire. The Chiefs took, some of the, I don't want to bring up the guys last year because the jury's still out, right, on those guys. But they've also taken Trent McDuffie, and they've taken some really good players too. But it's usually when they get to a situation where it's like, oh man, they reached on that guy because they need the position. Whereas who are some best player available examples? McDuffie's one, I believe. Josh Simmons is for sure one.
Yeah.
Okay. So at that point, you just wait. On Caleb Downs, by the way, since the year 2000, only 8 safeties have been selected inside the top 10. So I do think Caleb Downs is a possibility. Safeties aren't very expensive. Therefore, I think that's one reason they fall in the draft. I think for whatever reason. But we all know how important they've been over the years to a Chiefs defense. Safeties have been critical. Now they've got some guys there more so than they do at corner. But I think he's the perfect example of what we're talking about. If you're sitting there and you're the Chiefs and you've got options, you've got let's say it's Bain. Let's say it's Caleb Downs, and let's say it's Jordan Tyson, or Mansour Delane hasn't gone yet. I think when you look at them, by the way, the mock I'm looking at, the new one on CBS Sports, is Caleb Downs to the Bengals at 10 and the Chiefs taking Reuben Bain. I think when you sit there and you look at that, Breeland Speaks, like there's so many of these guys like Bain where it's like, man, doesn't totally fit the prototype, whatever. I think at that point with Downs, it's just like, man, this guy's awesome. Just take Downs or trade Downs and wait for what you feel like. I mean, he mentioned pockets and drafts, which I think is a tradey kind of term to use. Like you can get into other pockets. I think they're gonna pick. I told you yesterday, my hope is they use 29 to move up and take Reese or Bailey if they could do it, if they could pull it off. But I'm not going to be disappointed if it's Downs at all. I wouldn't be disappointed if it's Carnell Tate. I don't think he'll fall.
What if they love Caleb Downs, who what I saw was mocked to like 5? What if they use that to move up to 5?
No. Take Caleb Downs?
Yeah.
No, not for safety. It's got to be for one of those two edge rushers. Has to be. There's not another player. I don't
Carnell
think.
Tate? What if Carnell Tate?
You're giving up 29, and I can have Tyson at 9. I'd probably just take Tyson at 9. If they love Mekhi Lemon, trade down for that. I think the only two players, make sure I'm not forgetting anybody, the only two players that I would be willing to trade 29 to move up and get are Reese and Bailey. That's it. I don't know. Admittedly, I don't have a strong take on Sonny Styles. But those are the only two players. And I can't imagine that. I mean, Caleb Downs is good, but you take Caleb Downs if you're stuck at 9 and he's there and you're just like, he's too good to take somebody else over him. Like we just can't do that. Just give Spags the weapon and let him figure it out. Otherwise, I don't think they're going to have to trade down. I don't think they'll have to trade down. I think they'll I bet you they like 10 players. I bet you they like 10 players that they've identified and they're comfortable with taking at 9.
If I had to stab at realistic options at number 9, I think it'll go. Well, Carnell Tate, if he's there, I don't think he will be. So I don't think that's fair. I'll put. We'll go Reuben Bain, Jordan Tyson, and Mansour Delane is the order. And I'm really starting to like Mansour Delane more.
I would not be disappointed if he's the way they go. I try to be very honest with people. I'm not evaluating corners. It's easier to evaluate Caleb Downs because he's in on every play.
Yeah,
like
I'm just saying the fact of like, if you're taking a corner at 9, like, you know how good of a corner that is, that he's getting looked at to go number 9. Like how high a corners usually go, they don't. And so that's what I'm saying. Like for a team that just traded Trent McDuffie, if you take a corner that you think is good enough to go at pick 9, like I'd be pretty happy with that.
For a team that has a history of evaluating corners really well.
Exactly.
If you, yes, it was.
I wouldn't be shocked. I'd honestly, there's a world where I think that he could be above Jordan Tyson in their boards or wide receiver blank on their boards.
Yeah, I think there's for sure a world where I don't think he's higher than Carnell Tate.
No,
but Tyson has an injury.
But Tyson, Lemon, whoever else is in that group.
The Chiefs also are not scared of an injury either. They got a long track record of not being worried about that, of not overreacting to injuries. So they may love Jordan Tyson because Tyson's awesome. He just has an injury. But think about all the players. I mean, just last year, Simmons. But you go back to they've taken guys with injury tags for a long time. They're not scared of that. They're not scared of baggage. They're not scared. They'll just take players. But so if they love, I mean, Trey Smith had a thing going on. Did Wanya Morris? I don't remember on Wanya Morris. There's another one I'm forgetting. There's at least 3 pretty high profile guys that fell because they were hurt that the Chiefs took advantage of. So if they love Jordan Tyson, they may just be sitting there like, just take this guy that we love at 9 because he's hurt. There are people that like him more than Carnell Tate. Quite a few people that like him more than Carnell Tate. It's just his injury thing. But watch him play football. He's as easy to evaluate as any player. You're like, oh, yeah, that guy just dominates every time he's out there. He's awesome. He's outstanding. He's like Ted McMillan to me. Like, you just watch him play, and you're like, wow, that guy's the best player on the field. That's why I loved Ted McMillan, because every time I watched Arizona, it was like, there's nobody better than him. He's better than everybody right now. Tyson, maybe not quite that high for me, but he's pretty close. He was pretty dominant. I love Jordan Tyson.
Yep.
I would be totally fine with him at 9.
I tell people all the time, it's so funny to me. I covered the Arizona State K-State game in, what would that be, 2024? That would have been their first year, I think, in the conference too. They maybe second year. They came to Manhattan. K-State was like just coming off of a skid or something, and I'm like, oh, they're playing Arizona State. This could be a good get-back game against a non-ranked top 25 team. They're going against this guy named Sam Levitt, Cam Scatterby, and Jordan Tyson. It's like, holy cow, that team was loaded.
That team was good. Where did Levitt end up? Quick aside.
He's LSU.
Okay, that's a bummer. It's all there. I'm with you on Delane. If they evaluate him like that, and with their history of doing it, it'd be fine. Like, fine. It's not a sexy pick. It's hard when you take a corner because you don't see them. Like, the really good ones are really good, and you never see him play because nobody ever attacks him. How long did it take Trent McDuffie to get his first interception?
Yeah, 2 years.
Right, because nobody threw at him. What was that old
good
corner that bounced around a little bit his rookie year? He had like 5 picks.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name.
I know you're talking about.
But you went back and you would like go to people that watch the All-22s, and they're like, that's because he's thrown at more than any player in football. Like, he gets thrown at all the time. So yeah, he naturally has some. That's good stuff. Yeah. So if Delane's great, you're not going to see him, and it won't. I think back, if the Chiefs had taken McDuffie at 9, obviously you'd be satisfied with that pick. But you think of McDuffie's greatness, and this is unfair to him probably, but nobody was ever putting him in the same breadth as Chris Jones, even though they're both all pros, because when you watch the game, you see Chris Jones's impact on every single snap. That's, Reese, Bailey, if you take one of those guys, it's easier to look at misgivings on the defensive line because when you watch a game, that's what you're watching. You don't see how good the corners are playing.
Yeah,
if you take Caleb Downs, you'll see it because he's a safety. He'll be in on like a linebacker on most plays. He'll be impactful. Great corners, they just don't get thrown at. So they just, you just don't get to see them as much. But that doesn't mean they're not great players, and they're highly valuable. They're extremely well paid. So yeah, if it's Delane, and if they take Delane over Bain or Tyson or anybody really, then you know that they really like him. And if they really like him, then yeah, how are we not satisfied with that pick? It's a massive position of need. I'd be totally fine with Mansour Delane there if they take him there. I won't tell you that I think he should be taken there because how many snaps of Mansour Delane football have you watched?
I haven't, but I asked Dylan Domingue, who watched a lot of LSU football, and he said that he is very good.
And I've watched analysts and people who say he's very good. So yeah, I'm good with it. I'll be fine with it. No big deal. Take
Jordan Tyson. Watching some film on him, this dude is so freaking good. He was a cut from Deion Sanders when he got the Colorado job. Do you know that?
Tyson was?
He played his freshman year at Colorado, and Deion cut him.
Wow.
Maybe not cut him. Maybe he just transferred. But I don't want to be unfair to Deion.
One of those, you're not good enough to be here.
I mean, he was. I think that at the base level, he was in the room for that speech.
Oh, can't believe it. Can't believe that Prime would cut a talent like that.
I don't know.
The other name, Jermond McCoy is the other corner. Well, let me throw this out at you based on what we were just talking about. What if, and CBS mocks them going back to back, Delane at 11, McCoy at 12. Delane's been getting all the talk now. What if the Chiefs take Jermon McCoy at 9? Same thing, right? You just trust their evaluation of a corner?
Basically. Do you know where he went to high school?
Is this going to be relevant to me?
Yeah, White House, Texas.
Okay.
Same place as Patrick Mahomes.
Okay. Interesting. You know Mahomes is in their ear. He has a tendency to do those things. Hey, you got to take this guy. I would trust, if they take a corner, I'll trust who they take. If they take Caleb Downs, we know he's a great player. If they move up to get Bailey or Reese, like we've seen enough of some of these guys where we can give it to you. If it's a corner or if it's a right tackle,
yeah,
you're just going to have to say, you know what? That's who they thought they should take, okay?
Right tackles and you know, positions like that are the worst for us for the TV world. Like, it's like, oh, they got Josh Simmons. Anybody have any Josh Simmons video? No.
Yeah.
Nobody has any Josh Simmons video.
Yeah. Okay, so the offensive line, real quick. The offensive line, there is no consensus on offensive linemen. It's all over the place. And that was one thing Veach brought up with a pocket, is the offensive line. So he's telling you that there are linemen that they like, and then they feel like there's a drop-off. And I think just file that away, right? File that away, because I think if it's not an option at 9, and I think it's less of an option at 9, it'll be real interesting to see if it's an option at 29.
I mean, that tells me no.
Well, it tells you that they may like some there that they feel good about, and they may be looking at there, but they're not going to reach there. The fact that he talks about, and I forget the number of them, I want to say he said around 10 was the number he gave, that he felt like there was a pocket. He said it extends down to pick 35 or 40. I think they're probably more. Not to get to there, though. We got less than a week. We got plenty more to do there. Let's talk about this Will Howard story when we come back. He's not making K-State fans too happy right now. We'll tell you why when we return.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
83101 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Is Sports Daily on KFH.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Sports Daily, Jacob Albrock, TJ Cleveland. Glad to be with you on this Friday. Hey, let's get you an opportunity to win something here. How about your chance to win a trip to go away with Weezer? Score a pair of tickets to see Weezer with the Shins and Silver Sun pickups on a tour stop of your choice, plus flights, a 2-night hotel stay, a signed set list, and a meet and greet with a band. To enter, log into the free Odyssey app or Odyssey.com until Sunday and listen for an hour or more. You can come back each day and do it for another chance to win a trip for 2 to see Weezer. Thanks to Live Nation and Crush Music, you can enter this once per day. So if you want to podcast us out over the weekend or listen to any of the other great programming on the Odyssey app, it'll get you a chance. Make sure you listen for an hour. TJ, do we need to get into the drama in the NFL right now of Diana Rossini, Mike Vrabel? We haven't talked about that. I never know how to handle these stories. I like this thing's getting juicy now. We don't typically delve into the tabloid, but this one has some implications, I think, that make it a little less than just tabloidy. Brings up some questions, and I've been on the fence with it. We haven't talked about it. Rossini's out at the Athletic. The pictures, now there's people out there reporting that it was a PI that took the pictures hired by her husband, and somebody at USA Today was fired for saying things against Rossini. Like it's getting juicy. DJ.
It's weird. You're right. It's about to reach the make it out of the tabloid and see it on ESPN, and then that's whenever we have to talk about it.
Well, make it on ESPN. Like anytime we had this discussion in the office. Anytime you get into like insiders, I always try to like separate out like journalists and people who are just being fed information as like insiders. I think you've got two different things happening, and it only really, I mean, it happens, I suppose, in news a little bit, but it happens all the time in sports. Like a lot of these people have these relationships with agents. They have like coaches, agents play this game better than anybody. Here's who they're looking at. Here's who's rumored for the job. I mean, that's all just agents because the same agents represent everybody, and they're just leveraging everybody against each other. You get into these insiders and people are like, oh man, they shouldn't have a personal relationship. Now, I'm not talking about this example specifically because it's obviously being accused that it's much more than that. But yeah, like these people are going to have personal relationships with the league, with coaches, with people within the league. How do you think they have information all the time? So is that the same as your investigative journalist taking down Dan Snyder for all his shenanigans? No, it is not. There's a reason Adam Schefter's never going to be the one to take down Dan Snyder, right? Like they're two different jobs. And so it's an interesting discourse. I'm not sure I want to jump in this one, but we're aware of what's happening. We're aware of it. One that we will jump into, Will Howard had some things to say, TJ, yesterday. I'm going to let you set this one up because it has K-State fans riled up. And I'll be honest, I don't blame them.
Yeah.
On this
so
one.
This is a story from David Oven, I believe is how they say it. Athletic writer, does a bunch of college sports stuff. He's really good. Basically, the story, it's a really interesting story. If you want to read it, it's actually free. He posted it out on The Athletic. Is these NFL quarterbacks, are getting drafted in the 3rd, 4th, 5th rounds, and they make less as rookies and second-year players than they did as college football players. And that's a wild thought to think about, is that like, how many times in history has there been somebody like Trinidad Shambles who's willing to go to court so he doesn't have to go pro? Like, that's the world that we're living in now, is that like, yeah, like I obviously want to stay in college. I'm going to make more money in college. Like that's the premise of the story. And it gets down, and it's Riley Leonard and Will Howard. They're the two quarterbacks playing the national championship game whenever Will won at Ohio State. And kind of let them delve into the world of their NIL in college and how much it changed from when they first started. And, Riley Leonard had a quote in here, Jacob, I don't know if you saw it, about like, I remember sitting in a meeting with our NIL people when it first got passed and said, like, if you're telling me that I get a free cheeseburger for posting something on Instagram, I'm going to post on Instagram every single day. Nobody's going to give me anything. And now he's a millionaire. Like, it's crazy how much it's changed since then. Because these guys like were in college when it like was legalized, and then it became to what it became by the end of their year. It's crazy how fast it went. Anyways, by the end of the story, Howard goes into this stuff, kind of into this more specifics, and says that he never took any NIL money from the collective. He did, Long MacArthur. You've seen the commercials with Will Howard with a truck and stuff like that. Like, he had NIL deals, but he didn't pull from Wildcat NIL. It sounds like it. He told him, I didn't want any money. And he said, this is from the quote verbatim. This is from the story verbatim. Howard bided his time before a big payday. He spent 4 seasons at K-State, starting 27 games. In his final season, though, incoming freshman Avery Johnson, Howard's then backup, was being paid more than Will Howard. This is from Howard. I was a naive kid. I didn't know the nature of myself. I didn't want anything or need anything or need any money. I said I was good. There were a lot of politics the last year. There were games that I was splitting time with Avery for no reason that I knew, other than there was money going to him that wasn't going to me. And so my takeaway from this is that, like, well, that just comes off very bitter. Like, and for like this whole with Will Howard, like, he made the comment, somebody brought this up. He made a comment at one point about, when he first got to Ohio State, and said that it's nice being here because I feel like I don't need to be the hero. And people lost their minds about that. And that one, I think, was taken out of context because it can be, well, yeah, you have Carnell Tate on your team. Like you didn't have Carnell Tate at K-State. Like I know what you mean. Like that could be taken that way. This one though kind of seems like I got taken off the field for a freshman that was getting paid more than me, and I don't like it. And whatever, I don't blame him per se, but to act like it's a political issue, he was taken off the field because of some politics going on behind closed doors. I'm sure there was some politics going on behind closed doors. That was not the reason that Avery was getting on the field.
It's not any different politics, though, than why Michael Penix was getting snaps over Kirk Cousins. Or, I mean, it's like, yeah, if you've invested heavily in a young guy, you can read the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
So I don't understand.
I go as far. I mean, this is the thing. This to me, though, is just so out of context. Not out of context, but like, even if nobody was making money, this would have happened. Like this isn't a money thing.
It would have happened the same way.
Yeah, I mean, if this happened in 2005 and you bring in a 5-star quarterback, like you're gonna play him.
It's revisionist because everybody was like they need to be playing Avery more.
Exactly. If you ask any fan that watched that year,
not even just any fan, us, like people who watch the team objectively, are like, it looks like Avery Johnson's going to give them a chance to win. He needs to be playing. You need to find out what you have here. And Will Howard, who I was so happy for, and still am, that he went to Ohio State and did his thing. Like, that was such a cool story. But he was very up and down at K-State.
Yeah.
So, like, I was stunned. The great year he had, Big 12 championship year. It's like this guy went from fringe starter to
not even fringe
first round draft pick.
They brought in Adrian Martinez because they did not trust him to be a starting quarterback.
And you're like, whoa, where was that? He profiled, and then it kind of, got shaky again. And then Avery plays a little bit and looks flashy and you're like, okay, well then the next year it's like, well, yeah, you got like, I'm sure K-State was like, well, you got to go somewhere else, man.
Thinking back to this, like we all sat there and watched Avery in high school and all the things. And then you go into that year and like, we're looking around each other and like nobody's saying it out loud, but it's like, man, I hope Will is really good because Will needs to get drafted. Like Will, there's not gonna. They can't have Will start again one more year. Like it couldn't. Like you have Avery Johnson, you can't have him sit on your bench for 2 years because back then too, looking at Avery Johnson the way he profiled coming out of high school, it's like he's not going to be here longer than 3 years probably. Mm-hmm. Like you can't waste that.
Or he would have left. Like at that point, you're picking one of them.
Exactly. And so like to act like
weird. I would have never expected the sour grapes. And I get it, ultra competitive. You lost your job to a kid, like to a young guy. You're probably still bitter about that.
The thing that drives me the most,
national championship, and now you've got a chance to be the starting quarterback of the Steelers this year.
I agree. The thing that drives me the most nuts about it is that like it's also like looking back at that season, like there really wasn't much splitting time. Like there was an entire game that Avery didn't play in. And then like I think like the first game they played SEMO, Avery played like the whole second half because they were up by 50.
And they had already screwed up the red shirt thing, so it wasn't even a red shirt thing.
That was something I remember vividly. They played Avery against SEMO. He scored that touchdown against the FCS team, and then the next game against Troy, Avery didn't even see the field. And we were sitting here like, are they going to redshirt Avery Johnson? You're going to be kidding me. They're not. They can't redshirt Avery Johnson.
Well, because there were times too in that year where you're like, they got a chance. They need to use him to try to win these games, and they did. Right?
Yeah,
they were like, forget it.
You know what? We haven't even brought this up yet. You know what the quote unquote politics started happening after Will threw 3 interceptions at Oklahoma State, and then Avery scored 5 touchdowns at Texas Tech. It's like, yeah, you should probably play him.
I was so surprised to see the sour grapes. I would have never seen it coming because look. We all react to things differently. Who knows the context of the questions and like how it was being framed to begin with? But I can't imagine being in Will Howard's situation. You're at K-State. You had a great year. You came back. You were starting to slip again. There's a young guy that you knew a long time ago they brought in. That's how college sports works before all this. Like they landed this big recruit. He's always going to put pressure on you. You were given every opportunity. You didn't have a high level of success, not to the level as when they won the Big 12 championship. All of it. So everything happens. You are now given the opportunity to go play at Ohio State, make a bunch of money, win a national championship, reestablish your draft stock, and potentially 2 years later be the starting quarterback of a franchise like the Steelers. And you're going to now, 3 years removed from that, have any regret or ill will whatsoever.
That's the thing.
You should be thanking the stars that Avery Johnson came in there and pushed you and made you leave and go to Ohio State, because everything has worked out Will Howard's way.
We all looked at the situation that happened, and it's like, and everybody loved Will Howard. Will Howard's one of my favorite guys I've ever covered. And it's like, and then he goes in the portal and he ends up at Ohio State, and you're like, wow, Will Howard,
hell yes, he's going to have a chance to win a natty.
Yes, Will Howard is going to Ohio State. He just got paid. He's going to be the quarterback of the best team in the country. He's going to go to the draft after this, and Avery Johnson's going to be the starter at K-State. This is win, 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 win. Everything is perfect. This is the way it should be. And now to look back, and it's like, they didn't want me. And it's like, don't do this, Will. And to be and the other part of this too is that Will, as to what I'm saying, Will was so revered when he left still. It's like, that dude won us a Big 12 championship.
Yes.
And
still probably will be. He's going to need a chance. It doesn't make a lot of sense. It would be I'm trying to find a relatable.
Will is in the weird spot now in college sports, because a lot of people are going to have to deal with this now. The Wichita State Austin Reeves thing. They can't claim Austin Reeves as a shocker, but Will Howard's one of the guys that finished his career somewhere else that could come back, and it's like, this is hyperbole, but let's put him in the Ring of Honor. That's the kind, that's going to have to happen now.
We're going to have a lot of that with the transfer portal.
Exactly,
about that, but there's going to be guys in 4 different Rings of Honor. That's an interesting thing to think about. Jaylon Thompson next hour. We'll come back. Headlines I missed and more on Sports Daily on a Friday.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now. 831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas fan headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Awful, bad, awesome, sucky. I absolutely cannot face this. Wait a minute. It's Friday. I forgot. It's Friday. It's Friday. What-de-do? Today is Friday. You've waited all week. You've been waiting. Monday, you got through it. Tuesday, you got through it. Wednesday, you started to smell it. Thursday, you were right on top of it. And now it's here! It's Friday! It's time to rock and roll!
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH, this is Sports Daily.
Hey, welcome back for another hour of Sports Daily. Thanks for being here with us. We've got a lot for you. Jaylon Thompson, our Royals insider, going to join us this hour. Headlines I missed, much more. Your calls and commentary, 869-1240 is the phone number. Facebook, YouTube, X for your video comments. You can email the show, sportsdaily@kfhradio.com. Thanks for listening to us on the Odyssey app. Thanks for watching us on 12 News Connected. Everything we've got for you is on tap, brought to you by Wichita Brewing Company, where it's patio season. Have a brew with a view on Delano's rooftop deck. Enjoy happy hour on WBC East's patio, or grab a pizza outside shielded from the setting sun at WBC West. When you think patio, think Wichita Brewing Company. Pizza and beer made here. We're back with you here. Jacob Albrock, TJ Cleveland. One headline before we get to the headlines I missed that I'm just seeing now, TJ. Coach Joe Auer, former Wichita Heights legendary coach, tweeting out, and it says Perry Ellis had another injury, season-ending injury. Good luck to Perry Ellis, the Wichita legend out there, who's had a couple of injuries in his pro career that have been derailing. So hopefully he's able to get back on his feet and continue to go. All right, TJ, let's get to some headlines I missed.
All right, Sports Daily fans, let's take you to the sports headlines Jacob probably didn't see.
Okay. UFL last night, Jacob. I'm literally just seeing this as I'm pulling it up.
All right.
Who are these teams? I don't even know. Do you know any UFL? You ever watched it since it came back?
I mean, there's been so many different leagues. I don't know. I've watched some of them, but I can't even remember what they were. So I couldn't tell you if I've watched UFL. No, I am not seeking out the secondary football league. I just don't.
Oh my gosh, that is him.
It's amazing that it's never taken off, but no.
The Louisville Kings. This is going viral, I guess, in the first quarter. They were on the goal line, and to avoid a hit, they slid before actually falling into the end zone. Like they slid and down themselves with the one instead of going in for the touchdown. So it's a big deal. Why am I telling you this, Jacob? Quarterback for the Louisville Kings, Jason Bean.
Okay. Shout out Jason Bean, former KU great. Why players don't score? Were they trying to run the clock? Players do that all the time.
It was the first quarter, though. I don't understand. I don't really know. It's weird. I don't know all the detail. I'm just telling you, Jason Bean was on national TV yesterday. Maybe it's just a
Can you bet the UFL? Do we need to be suspicious here? Okay.
No, yeah, right. I don't know. All right, what else we got for you? Let's go back to the Royals. Did you see that sliding catch from Kyle Isbell last night?
I did. Yep.
Gosh, I can't get enough of that. That is one of the crazier plays that he's made. To like, how many times, first of all, do you make a sliding catch on the warning track? Like, usually
sliding away from the field of play.
Sliding horizontally. Like,
right.
Even still, like I've never even seen a sliding catch on, like, usually it's like a diving catch or like a leaping catch on the warning track.
It's a good place to slide, though, because you have control. You have slamming into the wall there.
Yeah. Anyways, this Royals burner account posted the highlight and said, "It's one thing to make this sliding catch while tracking a deep fly ball knowing you're running out of room. It's a whole other thing to make that catch while out of the corner of your eye you see an NFL edge rusher barreling towards you like Jack Caglione was."
I said this yesterday. I don't think people have a real good grasp of how big Jack Caglione is.
He's ginormous.
Jack Caglione is 6'4", 250.
He wears size 17 cleats.
He is enormous. Arvell Reese, who is about to be, as a defensive lineman in the NFL, a top 3 pick in this draft, is 6'4", 240. I'll say that again. Jack Caglione's 6'4", 250. Your edge rusher comp is correct. He is as big as NFL defensive lineman.
That's so crazy.
Right field. He's huge.
That's pretty insane. It's nuts.
By the way, we see this too. We see pitchers like these 6'7", 6'8". I always look at that and think about them growing up. And parents are like, you know what? Jack Caglione, you're going to be a baseball player. Or, instead of a power forward, you're going to be a starting.
I think Cags probably was in a spot in middle school where he had to look at himself and be like, yeah, I could probably play whatever I want to play.
Well, right. And he probably swung a bat and the ball, went 400 feet. And he was like, maybe I should do that.
He just got the hit of dopamine from a baseball bat rather than a football helmet, basically.
Or just realized he can do it. I mean,
he could have made $1 million as a college small forward, probably.
I don't want to take anything away from it, but like hitting a baseball still. No. You've either got it or you don't.
Yeah.
Like we see basketball players trained late. We see all these things, but to be able to hit a curveball, have you ever?
He's playing well.
I know you have, but for those that have you ever tried to swing at a curveball? Mm-hmm. Like, good luck. To watch these guys with wooden bats hit those 400 feet is a skill set not very many people have.
Gosh. He's playing well, too. He had another outfield assist yesterday, too. He's playing well. All right, let's keep going. Speaking of size 17 cleats, let's go to some other cleats stories. This one came out overnight. Jackson Smith and Jigba wore a size 12 at Ohio State. I don't know who had this, but it's on social media. He wore a size 12 at Ohio State and had hamstring issues. Remember all the injury talk about Jackson Smith and Jigba? When he got to Seattle, they used a full body scan to customize gear for each player. Now he wears a 10.5, and the problems went away.
10.5?
He went down a size and a half cleat.
I wear that size or bigger shoe. That surprises me. How tall is Jackson Smith and Jigba?
I mean, I don't know.
He's got to be 6 foot tall. Or taller, probably. I would think.
Probably. What size shoe you wear, Jacob? You probably wear
he is 6 foot tall. He's 6 foot tall.
I bet Jacob wears an 11.
Yeah, it depends on the brand, but yeah, somewhere between some are 10, some are 10.5, some are up to an 11.5. Just kind of depends.
We're 14s, man. Yeah, I know. You're telling me. I'm the kind of guy, you don't walk into Dick's and walk out with a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
You walk into Dick's and say, "Yeah, can I order those?"
Yeah, no, I'm in the section that is the most picked over.
Yeah, Jacob's picking in the kids section.
It's the most common size. There's nothing left ever. It's like I wear mediums which are never left, and the shoe size that's never left. I'm the most average sized American I think that there is.
Okay, back to baseball. The Bowling Green Hot Rods last night. I think this is
a good one. I have not
Single
heard
A,
that
High A. High A, yeah, that's a good team name. High A for the Rays. They took a lead last night over. I'm not even going to try to tell you who that team is. I have no idea. Not even going to try. The Drive, something Drive. It was 7-7 in the top of the 8th, and they had their backup catcher pitching, and he hit a home run off of him for a go-ahead home run. And everybody was like, what am I missing? Like, there's not a single pitcher that can pitch in that scenario. Like, not one.
They're probably being pretty careful. You're on strict limits and all of those things. Speaking of minor league baseball, I'm going to the Chili Buns game tonight. Can't wait.
Hope it happens.
It'll happen. Our rain, unless something changed overnight, our rain's happening early, and then it'll be out of here. So,
speaking of headlines, I saw our people at KCTV5 reported that tonight's storm could bring potato-sized hailstones.
Oh man,
potato! I hate severe weather.
I do too. It looked like, and I'll check it this morning. It looked like we were kind of on the very beginning of it, and then it's east. So we're still in the possibility, I think, of catching only a little bit of it. And then maybe it moves on. We're fringy. Wichita's going to be fringy.
We are in the bubble for sure.
We are in the bubble.
We're in whatever the red color or the orange color.
No, it's not red. It's not red today. It's not. It's 3 out of 5. It's not red. It's not purple. It's orange, but it can be hail. Hail. Yes, I've got a headline for you, TJ. Before we go, you're gonna like this. This is Josh Norris, who is at Underdog. He had Dane Brugler on, who is the athletics draft guy. He said Jordan Tyson's working out for teams today, only running routes, no athletic testing. According to Brugler, if it goes flawlessly, he could be drafted much earlier than where a lot of mocks currently slot him to what we were just talking about. If there's not a tag with an injury on him, there are people that think he's better than Carnell Tate. We love him. I've said it before. I don't trust my side-by-side because we watch so much more Big 12 football. There you go. He could move up. And if he moves up, who moves down? Think about those things. Carnell Tate, maybe. But that just was a part of a podcast there. Anything else?
Let's just go with football. I got one that I'll save for later because we'll talk some portal talk. I'd have to imagine later in the show.
Yes.
This is from Rob DeMello of the sports director at Kehan. You know where Kehan is?
Do not.
Honolulu.
Oh, nice.
Aloha Stadium is undergoing renovation. He just tore out like the upper bowl of part of the section. This video is pretty crazy. They did some major demolition. They're opening a 31,000 seat venue in the spring of 29.
So it's not that's not renovation, that's demolition?
I think it's renovation, but I think that it's like kind of like what Penn State's doing where they had to like take out the press box so they could build up from there. I think it's the same stadium. They're just adding seats to it, if I had to guess. They're probably renovating the upper or demolition of the upper bowl and then renovating the whole thing.
Got it. Well,
you ever been there? I never been to Aloha Stadium.
I need to go. I didn't go inside, but we drove by it. Yeah.
I need to go.
I still don't understand why every great athlete doesn't go to Hawaii. All right, we're coming right back.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now. 831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas fan headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
KFH. And now, digging deeper with the teams you follow, it's another Sports Daily Insider interview on KFH.
All right, we welcome you back in here to Sports Daily. We are joined by Jaylon Thompson, our Royals insider, KC Star, at Jaylon Thompson on X. Jaylon, last week you told us to RELAX. Are you RELAXing right now about the way the Royals have played over the last week since you told us that? Are you worried?
I'm relaxing. I don't know if the Royals are.
Right. We're not. We're not, Jaylon. We're overreacting every day. Now, I feel less bad, honestly, about yesterday. Yesterday was annoying, but less bad because I actually scored some runs. But I'm telling you, man, I'm worried about this offense. We've seen this now for a year and a half.
Yeah, you've seen the offense, have a slow April. But I always tell people they had a slow April in 2024, and they made the playoffs. It's never it didn't look as bad as it's looked now, but I mean, you knew this was a possibility when you looked at the schedule this offseason. You looked at it, you saw, playoff team, playoff team, playoff team, playoff team, right? And you're
White
like,
Sox and Twins, though. I mean, they went 4-3 against the White Sox and Twins.
And that's the reason why it looks as bad as it does now, because those wins that you had last year, well, against the White Sox, you only lost them one time. Well, you lost them twice this year already. And then the Twins, they're playing surprisingly well. They lead the American League Central right now. So it's just it's the game. It's baseball. You can never predict it. I think that the Royals need to win at least 2 games here in New York to feel good about themselves. But that doesn't seem like that's going to happen because they lost 6 straight last year. And they haven't won a series here in New York in forever.
It feels daunting for them to score 2 runs in New York this weekend, Jaylon. That's the part where they're at right now. To the start that they've had, like, I understand, like, and you're going to yell at me because it's April, but like, they're the second worst team in baseball right now, Jaylon. Like, they're in a hole. It's not too deep of a hole, but it's officially like you have to dig out of the hole time a little bit.
I would never yell at you, TJ. I would never do that.
Do it.
But I will tell you this: you're absolutely right. They are the worst team in baseball right now. One of the worst teams. So they have to do better, because if they don't, then they're going to have a huge hill to climb. Remember last year, the Atlanta Braves got off to a terrible start, and it kind of defined their season. The Royals can't let that happen for them this year, because if they do, then that's going to be a major disappointment for what they built in this team.
Okay. Here's the reason for my concern. Because we've seen this before. It would be different if this was an offense coming in that we were dead certain is going to be great this year. It's not that, and we can't think that responsibly because it hasn't been that. It wasn't that last year. We had these same conversations. So to see it come out slow makes it harder, I think, to just say, but they'll get it together. I want to say that because on paper, I still, like, you can't really figure out why it struggles ever. But we kept saying that and kept saying that and kept saying that even through an 18-game win streak or whatever it was last year. It was kind of the same thing. If they're still not scoring any runs. So that's where I think the concern comes in, is we've seen this before. And that's like, we're counting on a lot for an aging Salvi. Like they're just a little bit there. And Quatraro, who will not make a change in the middle of the lineup. Now, both those guys were good yesterday. Maybe that takes the lid off. I hope it does. But why is it that a guy who will do a million different things with the bullpen, do a million different things with 5 through 9 in a lineup, not break those 2 up when they're struggling like this?
It's the same thing he does with John Schreiber. He that's his guy. He loves John Schreiber. He believes in John Schreiber. He uses him in those spots. And we saw it yesterday. He gave up a home run as soon as he came in the game, right? It didn't hurt the Royals that happened, because they came back in that 7th inning. But like you said, with Vinny and Salvi, if you move them out of their customary spots, who do you put in their roles? I think that's the question that you got to ask yourself. Do you really think Jack Caglione is ready to hold down a 3?
We can't even get Jack Caglione in the lineup every day, Jaylon. So yes, that's another thing.
I agree. I do think that maybe it's time to allow Jack to face certain left-handers. I think that would be important. But really, if we look at this team right now, the big looming shadow of the offseason was, did they do enough? Did they do enough to get better? And you look at their moves. Lane Thomas hasn't done nothing. Isaac Collins really hasn't done nothing. Nice player, but he hasn't done anything to really take the team to the next level, right? And he's hurt right now. But maybe he gets back in the lineup this weekend. Yeah, those are your two offseason moves. Nick Mears was a guy in the bullpen. He hasn't really done anything of significance, and he's kind of fallen off a little bit. So where was the upgrade? Where was the moves? You were counting on Carter Jensen and Jack Caglione, and I think they have shown that they are going to be the guys that you think they're going to be. But everyone else you brought in this year hasn't done it. And Benny and Salvia are another year older. So Father Time is always undefeated.
It's true, Jaylon. The point you bring up there, we'll use Schreiber as the example here, but you're right. Like, he is loyal to his guys that he wants to be loyal to a fault, to a point to where John Schreiber comes in and gives up a home run on a third pitch that he throws. Like, at what point does that have to shift? I mean, how does it have to be a deep hole? Like when do you think that would be something if this does continue? If the offense continues to struggle scoring runs, like at what point does it have to be to say, like, all right, like Carter Jensen bat 3-hole, like let's try something?
I think if they come and they get shellacked in New York, which I really think is possible, they gotta change something, because you cannot come home 0-6 and 7-15 and play the Baltimore Orioles in front of your fan base, and somebody's got to face the music, right? I said it yesterday, and I know there's not really must wins in April, but yesterday's game was pretty much a must win. You had to win that game.
I agree.
To at least get some momentum going into New York. Now you're finna play against Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton, that lineup, who they lost some games to the Angels, but they hit home runs. The Royals can't have a home run derby with the Yankees right now. This is not going to happen. So unless the pitching staff, which always struggles against the Yankees, the starters, they're great, but when they play the Yankees can hit them. It could get real ugly this weekend.
Waka Cameron Reagans, righty, lefty, lefty, that bandbox. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I want to ask you, though, before we talk starting pitching, I want to ask you about Ursig. He has been like nails in 6 appearances and pretty bad in 2. I don't think the Royals would like it to be 1 out of every 4 appearances he looks good. Is there any concern there for him, or is everything fine with him?
I don't think there's any concern with Lucas Ursig.
Okay.
Yesterday, and I'll say this because I talked to him after the game, and he was very honest. He said, I feel bad that I gave up this game because the offense hasn't been performing the way it has been performing, and I kind of just gave it up. He said things were turning around, and then it was he messed it up, right? I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what he said. It took a lot for him to say that, because he didn't have to. He could have been very much, I don't want to talk about it. It is what it is. It happened. No, he took ownership of it, and I don't think it'll happen as much as people think it is. He's a great guy to have in that 9th inning. Yesterday, they hit him, and you could kind of tell when that game was going on. So many things happened in that game. Why wouldn't the walk-off be the thing that kind of ends it? You had 2 rain delays. Umpire goes out in the middle of the game. They had to go to 3 umpires. I mean, home runs from Salvi and Vinny, and it was a mess. That was just a weird game yesterday. So I think it's an aberration. I think he'll be fine. If they have a lead and they go to him again tonight, I think he'll get the job done, because that's just how Lucas Ursig is wired.
Jaylon, as they're going through all this stuff, obviously baseball's such a mental sport. Like, that's the part to me that is the most, worrisome. It makes me the most worrisome, I feel like, is that, like, 1 loss turns into 2 pretty easily. And baseball, probably more than every other sport that there is, professionally speaking. Like, you lose 3 in a row like they just did, 4 in a row, I guess is what they're at now. Like, going into New York, like, you don't feel good. Like, that's why everybody talks about, like, getting a win on the day you leave to go to your next one, how big of a deal those are. Like how much can this stuff compound, and how much is it affecting the Royals, you think?
I asked that same question to them, TJ, and they said we just gotta keep fighting. We gotta come together and focus on this series tonight in New York. I just feel like they have to get a win. They have to getting a win in New York, even if it's one, it's just momentum to go back home. And at least you got to win against a team that's going to be in the playoffs in the New York Yankees. Because right now, you're not too far out of the Central because the Central is a mess. But the further you go back, if you don't get a win or two this weekend, you could be looking at being 5.5, 6.5 back already in your own division. And it's not, like I said, it's not a crazy thing to overcome, but it's how you start off. If you got to play catch up so early, that's a problem. That's going to make it harder because now the pressure is just going to keep compounding. So I really think it would behoove them to win one game, and maybe I say two. I say take the series, and I think if they take the series, you can feel good. Then you'll be at 9 wins. You come back home. What's that? Would that be 9-13? I think that might be. It's not great, but you can live with that.
Over or under 12 runs the Royals score in this series?
Oh, under.
That's 4 runs a game.
Yeah.
That takes me to what I was going to ask you yesterday. When you see Salvi and Vinny and really all the big bats had good at bats all game, can it be that quick? Do you need to see more? Because they are walking into a bandbox. Like, if, this would be a good time for the offense to wake up. I know that Schlittler's been a good story. Will Warren's been a fine story. But are you walking into a series at a hitter's park and afraid of Schlittler, Will Warren, and Ryan Weathers? Or is it an opportunity for the offense?
Well, Schlittler has 30 strikeouts this year, right?
He's struck out a lot of guys. The Royals they shouldn't be when they're going right. They shouldn't be a strikeout team, but
I think, like you said, under 12 runs. Before yesterday's game, they only had 2 in 2 games.
I know.
Against the Tigers, and then they come out and they score 9. So that would put them at 11. Being in Yankee Stadium and just knowing how they play is possible, but where's the offense coming from?
It's got to come from the middle. And they have been epically bad in the middle, which is to the earlier conversation. Why not put somebody else in there for a minute? But those guys both had big hits yesterday.
They did.
We have seen how Vinny's not. Do we call Vinny streaky? I know he started slow, but then he usually is pretty steady Eddie. Yeah. Salvi is as streaky as it gets, though.
Yeah, and I've seen Salvi swinging some balls where I was like, "Why are you swinging at that?" Right?
Salvi hit that home run off his knee yesterday. Like, when Salvi gets cooking, like, he'll hit anything out of the yard. So, was yesterday enough to say maybe they finally woke up, or was it just one game and you don't?
Well, they said they want to put it together. They need to play a complete game where everyone is clicking on the same wavelength, right? Put it together. That was the synonym. We gotta finish the game together. I don't know if that starts in New York though. Maybe if lightning strikes twice, yes, but that's been a house of horrors for them. Yeah. And I just don't see it. I'm just being honest. The way this team is playing going to Yankee Stadium, just that environment, they don't play well there. Maybe this team is different, Maybe they will take 2 out of 3, but that's gonna be tough. That's why I really thought like getting a win or 2 in Detroit, that saves you, because this is gonna be hard this weekend.
Jill, and I'm going to ask you one that's going to make you ponder for a second. Everybody's kind of wrestling with this question. Whenever you have the record that you have and you're the second worst team in baseball, again, it's April. Don't punch me here. But everybody wants to know, why aren't they winning the games? And there's the big crux, especially on social media, is this the players' fault, or is this the coach's fault? Or is it just the game of baseball? But like, at some point, whenever bad things have happened, so bad luck has happened multiple games in a row, it becomes more of a trend than just bad luck. So what can change?
I don't think everyone will say it's the coach's fault. Well, it's the hitting coach's fault. It's this guy's fault. But they're not out there playing the game. When it really comes down to it, the players have to play better. They have to stand up and say we're gonna be better. We're gonna play better. A lot of these games that they lost, it was 1-run games. So it's not like when you look at that 7-12 mark, it's not because they don't know what they're doing or they're struggling. They've been in these games. It's just 1 or 2 mistakes that has cost them. The bullpen's cost them about 3 or 4 of those games. To be honest with you, if you had a better bullpen performance, then you might be looking at 10 and 8 right now, or whatever the number might be, right? But you're not there. So the question is, can the bullpen be better? And can these guys come together as a team? I think it's a perfect opportunity for them to say, this ends now. We're going to beat the Yankees. We're going to go back home. We're going to get our 2026 season off right. The question is, they got to do it, though.
I'll ask this: is that this is kind of the pushback to that? Because I agree with you. The people that say that they need to fire the hitting coach, it's like, what are they going to change with the new hitting coach? Like, hey guys, maybe you guys should try hitting with runners in scoring position. Like, obviously, there's nothing you can change. It's just kind of a string of underperforming and bad luck a little bit. But the pushback is that these guys that we see in this offense just absolutely dominated the World Baseball Classic. Like, what happened to where like Vinny looked like a all-world player? Like Kaggs had all-world power. Michael Garcia was the MVP, like, and he's playing pretty well. But like all these guys, when you watch the World Baseball Classic, you're like, the Royals are going to win the World Series. Like, they're the best team in baseball. And now it translates to this. Like, what happened?
You know what I think it is? And I said this before, and I believe that it kind of is the same idea. They were away from the Royals for so long. The Royals did not have a chance to come together and be that cohesive unit like other teams probably had, because all their stars were gone. All their stars were gone until the very end of the World Baseball Classic. So, yes, they know each other. Yes, they are teammates. Yes, they have that chemistry. But you go through wars in spring training where you play every day and you work off those slumps and you see different pitch types and you see everything to get ready. Those at bats. In the World Baseball Classic, you might have 4 at bats and then you don't play for a day. Or you might not be in the lineup the next day. And then you play again. And then maybe that is why you get up for those games. But a regular season game in April is not the same as a World Baseball Classic game where everything's on the line. And I think that might be the issue right now.
Jaylon,
are you in New York right now? Where are you?
I'm in New York right now.
Oh man,
you made it.
Go get some pizza. Max is going to be. He's going to tell you to go get some John's Pizza. Jaylon, follow along at the KC Star. We appreciate it. At Jaylon Thompson on X. I think I'm a little calmer since we talked, Jaylon. I appreciate your steady Eddie.
Thank you guys so much. See you guys.
Losing it.
Yeah, don't lose it. Don't lose it. We'll talk next week. They'll get it done.
All right. Thanks, Jaylon.
All right, see you guys.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story, Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now. 83101 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Sports Daily is on KFH.
Longhofer Lawn and Tree Care celebrating 60 years in Wichita, providing expert lawn care for a healthy lawn, tree and shrub care, bed and weed control since 1966. Longhofer Lawn and Tree Care. Welcome back into Sports Daily. Let's do another contest here, TJ. You can win a free cup of tea from HTO right now. All you have to do is text the keyword tea to the short code 20357. You can enter once per day. Message and data rates apply. That'll get you a free cup of any tea. Try the all-new Sweet Paloma. And Wichita fans, East Wichita, West Wichita, getting into the East Side, West Side rivalry. Each location will have their own themed new drink starting tomorrow with a really cool new sticker to go with them. The East Side, the West Side. Check them out tomorrow. Stickers will only last a little while. Good luck in the contest, everybody. TJ, we come back. I assume we've got to hit some portal news here. Yes.
We do.
Portal
We got some big ones. We got kind of big ones away from our locals, but still big ones all the same.
All right, so let's hit the transfer portal update.
Okay, this is one that I saved, which is a pretty stupid one. This one definitely could have been filed in headlines Jacob missed because it's kind of just silly, but it's got a local tie, so we're going to say it. Rockies Passmore, remember him?
Yes.
Former Jayhawk, I believe he was a McDonald's All-American.
I think that's right.
Something like that. He was a big-time freshman coming in on that. First year of Dickinson, I believe he was on that team. Him and El Marco and Jamari were all in the same class. I might be wrong about that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think they were the same class. But
Maybe he was the year after them. Anyways, Rockies Passmore went to Maryland. And he was the year after. Yeah, definitely. He was on the Diggy Coy team, I believe. Rockies Passmore, Maryland, went into the portal. This report came out that he has entered the transfer portal. That's from Matt Zenitz. 23 hours ago, basically. And then it was followed up by Travis Branham, who said, well, hold on. He tweeted that. Then Rockies Passmore himself tweeted, I am not in the portal. And then this report came out that says Maryland guard Rockies Passmore from Travis Branham. Maryland guard Rockies Passmore is currently in the transfer portal, but does not intend to transfer. Fully intends to be a Maryland Terrapin next season.
Okay.
What?
I mean, it's essentially what we got out of Flory, but look, this is the Will Howard situation. I'm going to go into the portal to put the pressure on. Are you guys going to pay me or not? And he's probably saying it doesn't even have to be that much, but you got to pay me something, right? I think that it's you're holding out for a raise. You want to stay. They know you want to stay, but you're not going to stay for free. I don't have any problem with that. I think it's fine. Clearly, you want to stay. Maryland wants to keep him. Just give him something, you know? What are you going to do? Because what you got to remember, too, TJ, guys lose their jobs all the time.
It's true. It definitely feels like it's probably a situation to, you know, I don't know. Maybe he wants to make sure. Maybe it's a Paul Mbia situation, except he's actually in the portal. Speaking of Paul Mbia, you see that report yesterday about him?
I did. You showed me.
His agent spoke with Henry Greenstein, a good KU beat reporter, and said that Paul is 100% all about the Jayhawks. We currently, though, are just trying to make sure he is fairly compensated and gets the best deal possible. And it's like,
what do we have a problem with that?
But like, if the player wants to be there, then why is he not just going there?
But what that doesn't mean, though, and this is why you hire agents, or this is why your parents would hire an agent. Just because he wants to be there doesn't mean KU gets him for nothing.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He's in a position of strength, right? They lost Tiller. They lost Badunga. He's the obvious guy. He likes it there. I assume they like him. But I'm not playing for free, guys, so just let's make something happen here. This is why if you were a parent of a kid like that, you'd want an agent in the room. Like, would you go get him some money, please? Like, why else are we hiring you? Why else are you here? Why else are we paying you?
I wonder. I mean, I don't know. I maybe it is something.
It's the Will Howard situation, right? Like, Will Howard's bitter now because K-State didn't pay him and they paid Avery Johnson. So what's Mbia supposed to do? Return for nothing while they go sign somebody out of the portal for $2 million? No, that's not fair to him either. I don't have a problem with it.
I agree. He needs to be paid, but I wonder what the numbers are that are being thrown around. Because, like, as you read that, my mind immediately goes to, like, it's a Flory situation where it's like his agents are trying to put the screws to KU. But it could also be to give them the credit. Maybe it is something.
Imagine he was highly compensated last year. I think this year, when you look at the market and you look at the rankings, and we've had this discussion before. Rock, that's who K-State just signed.
Mm-hmm.
If you're telling me I can have Rock or Paul Mbia, I think I'm taking Mbia. If you're telling me I could have, I'm trying to look at this list of guys we actually know. I mean, I Mustafa Thom. You taking Mustafa Thom over Paul Mbia?
I mean,
which one would you take? They're both going to. Thom's going into his junior year, and Mbia's going into his sophomore year. Thom was 12-8 last year, or sorry, 12 about 13-7, I should say.
Yeah, I would say I'd probably take Thom, honestly.
I don't think I would. I think I'd take Mbia.
Mbia still feels like a raw prospect. I think in 2 years, though, if Mbia continues going up, he's going to be awesome. Next year, though,
okay, so hang tight, because let me go back and look at what Thom did his freshman year.
Yeah.
He was 10 points and 6 rebounds.
Where did he even
UCF.
play?
He was at UCF. Again, probably a bigger opportunity. Mbia never has had the opportunity. We saw him start to get an opportunity late in the year. I liked what I saw. I thought he profiled as a Bill Self center, a lob crazy rim protector defensively. So, like if you're Mbia and you're seeing what these other guys are going for, and I can guarantee if I'm in Mbia's camp, I'm like, listen, we're as good as Mustafa Thom. We're going to get an opportunity next year. Maybe we're not commanding that you pay us like a guy like him who's had a productive year or two, but we're every bit as good as he is. Let's do something here. I have no problem with that from his side. And from KU's side, make it happen, because I would take him over. Thom's probably the cutoff. It's Badunga, Jop, and then Thom. And then you're getting into a group of guys I for sure would not take over Paul Mbia.
All right, to the main headline here. Let's keep going.
What do you think Bonk? What did we find out his name was? We've been mispronouncing his name. What do you think Bonk's going to get paid?
I know.
Would you rather have Mbia or Bonk?
I'd rather have Mbia than Bonk.
So there you go.
I agree.
Like at some point he's worth something, and he probably made very little last year. So for him to tell everybody like, I want to be at KU, because he should want to be at KU. The opportunity is tremendous, but not for free.
Yeah.
In today's climate, there's no issue with it. KU's got to just figure out a way to pay him a little bit.
It's true. All right. To the main headline of the day yesterday, though, Bryson Tiller is going to Mizzou. And everybody's losing their minds about it.
I love it so much.
I think it's from an objective standpoint. If you've got KU, as a KU fan, it sucks to see a KU player go to Mizzou.
That's why I love it.
But I think even as a KU fan, there's part of this too where it's like, man, by the end of his career at KU, you guys are bad mouthing Bryson Tiller. Like, if I'm Bryson Tiller, like, I don't even care. And everybody's like, money means there's no loyalty anymore. I'm like, he probably would have left for free. He didn't like being there at the end of the year, it looked like. And KU didn't like him. Yeah.
He got benched. And in the beginning of the year, Bill Self talked about him. Awesome. I'll never forget the quote. He was like, we're talking about all these freshmen in the conference, and he was like, and I get why, but nobody's even talking about Bryson Tiller. Bryson Tiller's a freshman. He's going to be great.
Yeah.
Like, I love it. Y'all, if you listen to Dan Patrick after us, Jim Rome after that, they both say the same thing. They've always said it, and I always believe it. They just root for the best stories. Like, we root more than, because we're local. Like, I root for our local teams, but I still root for a story. It's why Dylan Edwards to KU is just like the best thing ever.
Exactly. And I think like
Bryson Tiller to Mizzou is awesome, because it creates this villain that's going to be so much fun.
I think even Dylan Edwards, back to that situation, everybody's talking about like, it's like, wow, like nobody cared. They're just going to chase the buck and they paid him the most money. It's like, man, if you're Dylan Edwards, who got ran out of town by K-State, like, absolutely sign me up. I want to play for their rivals. I want to go beat those guys. Like, I think that part is awesome.
It is awesome.
That part's really cool. The other story here, part of it here, Jacob, that people are losing their minds about is that, which, maybe granted to lose their minds about this, but Flory Badunga posted on his TikTok story. TikTok has stories, by the way.
Okay.
I don't, whatever. I'm not well versed in the TikTok.
They're all the same.
I know.
They really are.
Anyways.
Twitter's the only one that's different.
Yeah. Flory Badunga posted I don't even know what this is. Some account made a TikTok basically calling Flory and Bryson Tiller snitches and rats. Because I don't understand that, but people are taking a dump on Flory and Bryson for leaving to go get bags and go to the rival and all that stuff. And people are like being revisionist, and now they hate them. And not revisionist. I mean, I think that they loved him and now they hate him and they think it's a heel turn type of situation.
Makes it better.
Flory Badunga shared the TikTok and put on there and said, "At least I ain't no rat," at Bryson Tiller, like joking around about like, man, they hate us, don't they? And now KU fans are saying like, how bad it sucks that Melvin Council loved KU. and gave his heart to KU, and he was playing with two guys that now have just left for bags and for the rivals that are now joking about it, and it's like, listen, I think that both things can be true here. I think that they can love playing for KU and then just,
yes, I agree with that. I am like, again, put yourself, we think about this stuff like if we were, 30-year-olds making these decisions. Put yourself in that spot. You're 18, 19, 20. Just think of yourself if you went to college and how much you did not comprehend consequence, but just absolutely did not care. Like, I'll eat fast food every day because I can. Don't care where am I sleeping? I'll find a bed to don't care. That's what these are the guys making these kinds of decisions. And now they have social media. That's the one thing I didn't really have in college. Now they have social media to talk all that trash. I'm like, God, like I cannot.
The bigger conversation here, Jacob, is like, where are they villains now? Are they embracing?
Yes.
Should KU should KU fans consider these two villains?
100% yes. Absolutely. Yes. Colby Rogers going to Memphis should have made him a villain to Shocker fans.
Yeah,
that's not a knock or anything against any of those players. But as a fan, it makes it better. It makes the experience better to have villains. So if you're just going to don't look a gift horse in the mouth. If it's just sitting there staring at you, Bryson Tiller just went to Mizzou. Well, yes, he should be a villain. That in every way. Not anything against him, but we were just gifted a story that if they played each other, will make that much more enjoyable an experience to spend a couple hours with.
Mm-hmm.
Of course you should lean into that.
This to me, like, and I don't know, I said this yesterday to you, I was texting you, is that there's a difference between Bryson Tiller going to Mizzou, like, that to me is like, oh boy, like you're gonna poke that bear, like that's bold of you, Bryson Tiller. What if KJ Adams did it his senior year? Then it's like, all right, the transfer portal sucks. This is stupid.
No, I mean it is what it is. He's choosing to be a villain. Kevin McCullough transferred from Texas Tech to Kansas. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I think I think that there's an argument to be had about like people, because this started like this last year. People made a really big deal that there was a football player that transferred from like OU to Texas or Texas to OU or one way or another. And everybody lost their minds. Like, what is loyalty? There's no loyalty anymore. And I'm like, man, if you're transferring, that means you don't want to be there. Like, this is not, it's one thing. I'll say this. It's one thing if Dennis Gates was like making calls and poached Bryson Tiller from KU, then that's one thing. If you're transferring and in the transfer portal, you don't want to be there anyways. Just
I don't know where,
go.
And I think sometimes, TJ, it can be even simpler. Let's take Texas OU for an example. You were probably heavily recruited by both of those coaching staffs at one point. You have a relationship with them.
Bryson Tiller did.
It could be not even personal, but like, I just really like those coaches over there. That doesn't mean, though, that the fans shouldn't lean in and take every ounce of offense to it. They should.
This is my point, is that Bryson Tiller wasn't coming back to KU. Like, I don't think that people should be heartbroken about, like, he was going to go somewhere. This is the best case scenario.
Yeah, this is awesome. It's so much more fun. All right, we'll come back. We got just a little more Sports Daily for you. Stick around.